Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse for Husker Nation, brought to you by Nebraska Spine Hospital. Today I'm joined by a special guest. He had the best season by a punter in Montana football history, and he was the FCS Punter of the Year a season ago. He will be transferring to the University of Nebraska football program this fall. He's only a redshirt freshman, got 3 years of eligibility to go. I'll give him quite the intro, and then I'll bring him on. He averaged 46 yards per punt, which broke the Montana school record set by Mike Rice in 1985. He also set the school record of career yards per punt with a mark of 45.8 yards. In 69 punts this year, he put opponents inside the 20-yard line 30 times, and he had 28 punts of over 50 yards. Opponents also fair caught 25 punts from him as well this year. He also handled the kickoff duties for the University of Montana with 75 kickoffs this year. Mr. Brian Buschini, thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited.
How was that intro? Was that good for you?
That was great. I appreciate it. It makes me feel like a superstar.
All right, so talk to me, because you announced you were going to transfer, and literally a day later, here you are coming to the University of Nebraska. So did you kind of have your eye on the Huskers? How did the talks with Coach Frost and the staff go? Why Nebraska? And it seemed like the decision was pretty easy for you. Why was it so easy for you?
Yeah, well, when I got into the portal, they were in contact pretty much right away, and I talked with Coach Mossbrucker and Frost and Bush pretty much all day. And my wife and I pretty much had like a list of things we were looking for in a school when we transferred. And my original plan was to keep my options open for a little bit and just kind of see what other offers came my way. But through conversation with my wife, we kind of decided our checklist was met when looking at Nebraska and Lincoln, and we could really see ourselves fitting in well here. And so I informed the coaches later on in that evening that I was committed and posted it obviously yesterday.
So what were some of the things on that checklist that you were looking for your transfer destination?
Yeah, we were looking for a smaller town that was safer because we're kind of hoping to buy a house, and we were looking to find some churches that we kind of thought we'd fit into. And then, Nebraska football is obviously very big time, so that was part of it too. And we kind of wanted to go towards the Midwest because we wanted to kind of explore where her parents grew up because they loved it back there. And there was just a bunch of things like that we kept looking at. And so we kind of had a small list of schools that we were going to try to see what would come our way, and University of Nebraska happened to be one of them.
So it's very interesting because I met my wife at Nebraska. We got married in a church there in Lincoln literally the day after I graduated, and then we went and played in the Cotton Bowl. Also, my mom was born and raised in Lewistown, Montana. So I think there's some similarities between us. So talk to me about how being in Montana and how that kind of is somewhat similar in your eyes to Nebraska. And obviously you spoke about why you were attracted a little bit, but talk about some of the similarities, because I feel like I didn't even know you were married, so for me there's some crossover between the two of us, but tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think the similarities between Nebraska and Montana kind of go to the culture and like the homegrown, hardworking, down-to-earth kind of people that there's a big farms community here and a lot of rural living. And so I think a lot of the old cultures of like going to church on Sundays and having real strong family bonds still kind of reign the same. And, I met my wife here in college, and it was a wonderful experience meeting her. And we got married about 8 months after we met, and it's been the best thing ever.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, my mom was adopted. She was actually adopted by my grandparents, and my grandpa in 1947 built a log cabin about 6 miles outside of Lewistown. And so every summer, that was our vacation destination. So to me, that was kind of cool.
Go.
So where are you?
I used to live in a cabin.
Yeah, where are you from? You used to live in a log cabin? Where at? Where are you from in Montana originally?
I'm from Helena, but we had a little cabin outside of Helena.
Okay. So I've been through Helena, Great Falls, Missoula, all those places a million times. So what's it like? Because I never actually grew up in the log cabin. Like I said, for us, it was a vacation destination. My grandpa, actually, Valentine's Day, 60 years after he built it, he passed away in the chair in the living room. So that's what he wanted to do instead of being in a hospital. But what was it like growing up in a log cabin for you? Because obviously that's a little different than how most people grow up, even though it's very cool. What's that like?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't really think twice of it at the time, honestly. We just kind of lived out in the woods and had a bunch of land to ourselves. I thought it was great because I never really liked having a ton of neighbors. And so being able to have space was really cool because I go out and punt in the backyard and, practice my craft without worrying about hitting another house. And as far as the actual house goes, it was kind of cool, I thought. And whenever we'd have friends over, they would think it's pretty neat that I lived in a log cabin.
It is pretty sweet, that's for sure. It's funny you talk about having a bunch of acres. Like my grandpa had 100 acres, and he literally, I can only imagine if the logging companies could come in and chop those trees down and sell how much money that would be worth. He didn't care. He made it so nobody can ever chop those trees down. So those trees will be there 100 years from now when we're all dead and passed away. So anyways, I think there's a lot of similarities as far as you look at that. Obviously you're probably familiar with Samori Toure. Did him come into Nebraska having success like he did a year ago? Did you ever have any conversations with him? Did that ever enter your mind?
After I entered the portal and had offer, I kind of messaged him a little bit about it, and he had some really good words to say about it. So that kind of reinforced the decision that Kelly and I were kind of thinking of making at the time, and kind of really gave me a lot more confidence that it was a great place for us to go.
Talk to me about being married. Obviously, you're a little bit younger. So talk to me about being married. What's that like, going to college? And obviously a lot of your teammates probably are not. They're probably more enjoying the bachelor lifestyle. How's that been for you?
Yeah, it's been good. I never really was too into going out at night and that kind of stuff. And we got married October 17th, and it's been one of the best experiences of my life. I just feel like I have a best friend I can share my experiences day in and day out with, and someone who keeps me in check most of the time too, which is honestly good for me.
That's awesome. When you're talking with the coaches, kind of backtracking a little bit here, but when you're talking with the coaches, Coach Frost, the other coaches, and they're trying to, hey, Nebraska's the place, it's a good spot to come for you. What are some of the things that they say to you during those conversations? And obviously they were pretty quick, but what are some of the things that they said to you?
They just we told them things we were looking for, and every single checklist was met. Every single item that we had a need for, they were quick to get it solved for us. They had, connections throughout the town. So when it came to us maybe wanting to look for a house, they would put a list of houses together and send it to us. And we could really tell just how much the coaches care about us and our personal lives outside of football. And that was really important for us. And, Coach Frost seems like a really, really great guy. And I'm just super excited to go play for him. And Coach Busch is obviously a super funny guy too. And I'm just so thankful for all the wonderful things that they did for us, yesterday and the day before. And I'm super excited to have these coaches that really, really care about outside of football.
When do you arrive on campus? Will you be here in the winter and spring, or will you arrive in the summer?
Yeah, I should be there early January, so I'm a mid-year guy.
Okay, awesome. Well, man, I want to welcome you to the Husker family. I want to thank you for joining the show. And like I said in that tweet the other day, I'm looking forward to watching you compete and play.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, until next time, Husker Nation, go big red, and always remember, throw the ball. Thanks again to our sponsor, Nebraska Spine Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, when it's your spine, you do not want to mess around, and experience matters. That's why you can trust the experts at Nebraska Spine Hospital, the region's only spine-specific hospital. They are the best at what they do.